Welcome to My Accent is No Accident podcast. I'm your host, Maritza Perez, and we are here today with a beautiful soul, a woman who has transformed her life to liberate herself from her own childhood traumas and who is now helping others do the same. She is Radavie. Radavie serves inner peace and an emissary of messages from divine sparks. She considers her childhood wounds to be a blessing as they have enabled her to empathize in the tribulations of the human condition. Her mission is in keeping her soul's agreement in helping others to live in inner peace. She ardently serves the divine spark within each of us. Messages from the divine spark from finding inner peace are the subject of her forthcoming book. Radavie is devoted to serve those who are ready to unveil inner peace in the midst of our chaotic world and become liberated from human. Welcome, Radavie. It is an honor. It is a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Oh, I'm really happy to see how my own personal experiences can make a difference in your listeners' heart.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And let's just start with a question that I ask each one of our guests. Radavie, what is your accent and why is that an accident?
That is such a reading question. But, I really relate to it because I have an accent. And so I'll just say that, I was born in the island of Jamaica in a mountain village. And it was a perfect place to understand and be conditioned. I chose the perfect appearance, the perfect place to help me to heal through my own conditioning. And that's when I began to return and understand why my soul is here. Because we all have been trapped in the programs of adults and life's experiences. We got trapped in it, and it was really hard for our mind to move away from those beliefs. So then it moved on to really recognizing that my mission was to help people to awaken to inner peace. And it's through my own experiences and my own journeys why I can say that and hold a space to support people. If I hadn't got it, I wouldn't be able to do it. It would be a mind talk. No, this is a divine expression.
I love that. I love that because you went through your own trauma as childhood and your own conditioning from that trauma. And not only transform and transition from it, but now are also helping others to gain that inner peace that we all need. So
Yes.
one of the things that I like about what you do and the work that you do is that comes from the divine. And one question is, why are we here?
That is a question I think a lot of children ask themselves, because I certainly did. And in addition to that, I said, I don't want to be back. A 5-year-old, how could I understand about coming back? However, we're here to learn, grow, and evolve. And the contrast I'm going to look at the contrast of conditioning. When we go through that, we realize that what we are is so precious. And if we don't have a contrast of good and bad, or happy and sad, we really take it for granted where we are. I think, or let's say we are all conditioned. We think, oh my God, this is what life is. And we continue to stay unhappy and having a sense of need. So, why we are here is to learn, learn the differences between light and dark, love and fear. And to grow to me is about we get to a place where said, there's something going on and I'm stuck and I am not happy. I need help. The first thing to is need help is that I'm owning that there's something wrong. And somewhere in me, I know that's not me. People don't really realize when they say I need help. There's a quiet calling inside that said, I want to reach out to explore what's going on. So and when we do that, we begin to evolve out of that frequency of fear and mind thoughts to become much more expansive in the way in which we view it. And that's exactly what happened with me.
And it's beautiful. And so let's share a little bit about how a child, like, go back to your childhood and seek that fear, and how that fear transform you, because fear is not that bad after all. It also helps us to survive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that fear is because as children, we don't have the intellect to work through all about what we're feeling. Who is it we're going to be talking to when the household is where the problem comes from? And so we put on this mask of survival. When we start to create a belief about what we should be, that's a program. That's the program. And how we should. And so we started to look at the world and through the eyes of other adults, humanity. We started to look through at the eyes and finally realized that doesn't work. That's not working. If we are really going to not get into a disastrous place, because I know that many children get so covered over and have no idea who to turn to, where to go. And so that's where the whole thing really started. And we start to get our survival skills on, and pretend and our masks on and pretend we are what we're not, yet we're hiding the pain inside. Don't know what to do with it.
And throughout your life, you also had the opportunity to get these images and these appearances, if I should say, of yourself looking at who you are and in the realization of that's not who I am, that's not who I'm supposed to be. When that happens, please walk us through what the feeling is, because I all have the capability to listen to God, to see the message that He sends us. Please walk us through.
Okay.
How.
Well, it's interesting. I think I walked between the dark and the light throughout my childhood. And the reason I said that is because at 4 years old, I learned in Sunday school about God. That never left me. So it became the golden thread through the tapestry of my life. Yet I'm here to learn about conditioning. And here my soul has a purpose, unknown to me as this little girl. So I had to walk the dark side too. And while I felt that, I walked away from my childhood. And this is one thing I'm telling you, listen, don't do.
Yeah.
Let the feelings happen, you know. And anyway, I walked away and I never talked to anybody about my childhood because I think it was covered over in shame, covered over in my own personal judgment of how cruel it was that my mother could say those things to me and what, in during my childhood. So I just left it as well as I left her. And then a mystical moment occurred. I was going through a deep, deep, deep emotional distress. See, that's the thing I want to remind your client. When you're going through the deepest pain, there's an opportunity for a crack and the light coming in to support you. So don't try to medicate yourself when you're feeling badly. It's important. So anyway, I a mystical moment occurred when I was going through that deep pain. And I saw my little girl standing in front of me. She was 10 years old, sad, sad, looking me directly in my eyes, not saying a word. And I thought, I don't want to see you. Just go. Let's go. And she was there for 3 weeks every day. I
Oh,
remember at one time I yelled out angrily, just go. But then I recognized that I needed to connect her with me because she's not going away. It's part of me that I needed to embrace. She was carrying the wound and she's carrying the pain. And she's come now, where I'm older. And so I had to go through my self-healing. And during that time, I realized the difficulties that human conditioning has done to affect people and the way in which we relate to life and our behaviors is a really, really mark of what is held stuck inside. So what I did, I'm asking listeners, don't do that to my own experiences. Feel your feelings. I know that sometimes it's frightening because you have to go back. You have to go back to a past that you were so afraid of. And you don't want to go back there anymore. You don't want to say that. You don't want, and you were so afraid of the ramification. But I just want to say, find someone that you trust, that you can just talk to. The first thing is about bringing it out. You'll be surprised how that energy comes through you and how it makes you feel better that somebody can hear you, can stand by you. So those are the things that I really want to share to your audience. It's no longer, it's not, there's no time to lock it away.
yes. And that is beautiful because one of the parts of healing yourself is recognizing the wounds, recognizing that there is nothing wrong with you. There is just a wound. There is something that hurts you. And sometimes talking about it, it's all it takes to become aware of it and start the healing.
Yes. And for 30 years, Maritza, I helped people. It's stuck. It's still going on in the adult lives and creating some behaviors that they're recognizing. They have more of an intelligence to notice that something is wrong. I need to find out what it is. So for 30 years, this is what I did. I helped people to find where the is and clear it. And many different type of people came to me for that. So, and then, it's my learn, grow, and evolution. I moved into um, helping people not to become a better person, but to become their divine self. So that's how my evolution
That,
started.
and that is beautiful. Then you started realizing that these were messages from the divine, these were messages from
Yes,
God, not your imagination, that your
yes,
self-healing was presented to you from God.
absolutely, absolutely. And when these messages came through, they taught me. I had no idea. They said, we're not wounded children. We are divine sparks. And I thought, I've never heard the word before, which is good. It was good. And then I began to realize that there are really people who knew about the divine spark. And so the messages, they yearningly wanted me to have humanity hear their message, because it's the essence of our soul. It's a collective of
Yes,
all our souls. And when I say that and get to that, I can look at everyone, and I look through everyone, and I look first to see how different we look in the outer world. Yet behind that, we're the same. We're sparks from the one flame of God, and that is so. That's when we get to that place. There's no pain, no hardship, except the older experience you had. You've got to get it out so you can live as your divine self.
hi, I'm very happy to know you are here watching our podcast today. It is an honor to be featuring so many entrepreneurs on the journeys of their inside voice, their accent that is not an accident. And we want to reach out more people like you who are creating a better world of diversity, inclusiveness, equity, and belonging. So please take a moment to hit the subscribe button below, like, and share to others. And even if you want to leave a comment, that'll be nice. Thank you for your support. And now back to the episode. Yes. And from the moment of creation to now, even every single thing that is comes from the same spark, the same flame, the same source, the same God.
Exactly.
So we are connected, and we are to be in community, and we are to behave as one. Together is how we thrive, not separated. And then you also talk about how this world is full of chaos, and that is difficult for some to become more aware of the purpose that we have here. Do you want to get deep in that?
Yeah, because nobody told me, nobody told me I had to experience. And how do I experience it? By shedding the past, by shedding the belief of what I think I was. Because if we are stuck into what we believe we are, and many times it's in the unconscious too, I'm not good enough. So if I'm not good enough, I won't make an effort to be better.
Yes.
So my passion, I always say we live in a mystery. What does that mean to me? The mystery is what we're moving into to unfold. So we go through many mysteries and say, oh my God, I just realized something. You just broke that veil. And so as we move on and on, and remember we are learning and we're growing. Growing is experiencing. Something starts to happen. You will feel that that person that I used to be close to, or that group of people I used to be close to, I don't feel connected anymore. And it's not that they did anything to you. You have moved in a different frequency. So as you move into a different frequency, I understand the reason I'm here and get information because I was intuitive, get information and knowingness within me. And we all have a purpose why we're here. We have an agreement why we're here. And some of us may think we're not good enough or we're doubtful. You don't know the power inside of you that your soul had an agreement, your soul's blueprint had an agreement to be something else. And maybe in your gut, you've always had that passion. God, if I were that, this is thing in me to do. And I don't know, you sabotage yourself. Go through it because we all have an agreement to be here. And I had a dream, which is unusual, about a past client who still connect with me. And I dreamt that her agreement here was to bring happiness to herself. Do you know how powerful that is?
That is beautiful.
How powerful it is just to say, okay, I'm going to be a kind person, or I'm going to be a good parent. We think it's simple. No, it's something that you're passionate about. And you have to let go of all the conditioning that covered over all of those souls imprint. We are here
And
to learn, grow, and evolve from each other.
oh, yes, that is amazing. That is beautiful. And that's exactly the purpose that we have. We are here to, first of all, love each other, um, and be with each other and learn. And then, like you were saying, we're not going to be with the same people throughout our lives. We're going to move, we're going to evolve, we're going to change directions. Even with our own family,
Yes,
we are together, but I'm Latin, so we are together all the time. But we're together, but each one of us take a different path in life and a different way to live our lives. Some of us are mothers, some of us are excellent career people, oriented people. You know, everyone will take a different path because that's what they are here to do. That's what you are here to do, to have your own path. And if you get lost, what is needed is not for you, like you were saying, Radavie, is not for us to get medicated or try to fix it, because there is not really something wrong. It's something that we need to heal. And that is something that you also talk in your upcoming book. Not only the creating that, healing that childhood traumas and the conditioning, but also bring peace in the midst of chaos. And it can be the chaos in our own minds.
yes, of course. And I have realized more and more when the divine spark urge, they want humanity to hear their messages. When divine speaks to me, I never wonder, well, why should I? I never do that because over my life, I've had specific things that I'm told, and I go and I do it. No question asked. So as writing this book, and this book, I started to realize I've integrated with the book. What does that mean? It means that everything in that book is what I have experienced. It's not a story about me, but it's an expression about where conditioning has taken us, where we are, because I've learned those things, I've experienced them. And the beauty about the book is it doesn't leave you there wanting more. It gives you freedom explorations to to listen, open your heart and look at what it is you, because it's taking you away from your mental concepts. There are 12 of them in the book. And so I feel that this book, I'm not saying it's the only book that's going to get you somewhere, but this book comes from your dark. As I said, I walked between the dark and the light. I realized no, my dark had to be experienced so I can bring the light, and that book has it. Come to think of it, I've never said it like that before. And so I have integrated with the book that I can look at people and I can share from my heart the expression of them. The only thing I will never do is to say the divine spark messages through me. I have to read it because it comes from a little different dimension. Although it's their words, their expressions, a little bit from a little bit different dimension. And so I do not dare say it because there's a frequency, there's an energy to it, the way in which they spoke it.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe, let me see. Maybe I'll open one and see what, if I can find. Oh, okay, here's one. I'd like to read
okay.
this to your audience.
Okay.
So I want you to open your heart, people, and listen. Falling from grace was like drowning in this vast ocean. We felt there was no escape, and I'm touched. The deepest wound was not the adults' behavior to each other and to us, but our light being covered by their shame. We no longer felt the pure consciousness of love. We felt like everyone else, having lost connection with God's love. Sorrow and shame veiled our spark. Our spark was hidden under the new reality of lack. We felt powerless. And that's that
Wow.
piece. You see why I would not say it, because there's an energy about it. And I'm even
Yes.
a little touched reading that because I'm very empathic.
Yes, I felt it. It was very energetic and
Yeah, and there's a yearning to it too. It's like, just imagine that spark is in us saying that we felt from grace and how it felt for us. We felt from grace when our innocence. Now I'm really going back to really let people understand where did it come from. When we are born, we have no language. We are multidimensional. You know things. You see energy. You feel it. You know when someone is angry. You know when your parent is angry with one look because you can feel it inside. So in our innocence, we are divine spark. We came in as a spark of God. Then we
yeah,
were covered over.
and that is
And it's
that is
there. And that's what I want people to know. Your divine spark is in you.
it's powerful. It's
It's,
very powerful.
yes.
And one of the things we have to also love our shadows. We all have good days and bad days, but we also have good and bad in us. It's not like we're all beautiful, and yes, we are beautiful, but we're not all the time good, because we need to have the yin and yang. We need to have that um, mix of good and bad to be able to have the intuition, to be able to make decisions and to walk through life. But the darkness in us, the shadows, we need to embrace, accept, and walk with them to make us who we are and to help us grow.
Well, the shadow is from our conditioning. It's just, it's, and there's something inside of us as little children. We know certain things was not right. And I'm sure many listeners may say, you know what? I remember, because one of my clients, he came to me and we're talking about the inner child place, and he said, my mother was very kind to me, but one day she was being nice to me and I looked at her and there was unhappiness inside of her. It was not the same as how she was treating me. There was something else. And I pulled away. He said, he's a little boy. He's a little, no, I don't know how old at the time. I pulled away from her because he couldn't trust that what she was doing to him was her kindness and love was the same as inside of her. So I'm very fortunate to hear many of these experiences from my clients, because there are thousands of them. And I've learned a lot about how conditioning has affected them. My life was not a failure. My life had this reason before I understood what it was. And so we have to go for it.
Yeah.
Don't lock anything away, because your brilliance, when we hide our shame, you're hiding our brilliance at the same time.
Exactly.
So,
that is amazing. We're getting close to our end, and before we move and say goodbye, I would like to give you the opportunity to tell our audience how they can find you and where they can find you.
Well, if you'd like to know more about what I do, it's radavie.net. It's simple. RADAVIE.net. And in my network, in my website, I have a few gifts that I offer. One of them is take a 20-minute sign up for my 20-minute complimentary conversation, so you can reach out to me if you want to have more understanding or whatever it is that you got from this conversation. And then there are some other free gifts. So take your time and walk around and look around and see what else is there. And I'm going to be putting together an intensive, Maritza,
awesome.
based on the book. The whole thing, you got to let go your um, learnings and all your programs and move into the more practice of freedom exploration. And that I'm only doing small groups, like 10 people at a time. And the reason for that is I want people to feel safe to unzip, because there's no place here that you are encouraged to bring out the shame, bring out the doubt, bring out the anger and all of that. So I am about making it safe enough as a small group. So that is what I will continue doing.
Oh, That is super interesting. And there also are many articles that you have in your website. I had a fun time reading some of them. Is there any last thought that you would like to leave the audience with?
Okay, my book is going to be out very soon, really, really soon. And when it does, on my website, there will be the link to get to Amazon to get the book. But other than that, is just a reminder. I just want to remind you that the spark that you are has nothing but love. It's a light of love. And and when you feel badly or upset, only because it's stuck in the mind. The mind thoughts is making you feel unhappy. When you practice that, if you just said, okay, now right now I'm not going to think about it. I'm just not going to think about it. See what happens. Even a
Ah,
split second.
yes, that is amazing. Thank you so much, Ravi, for this beautiful time, and your messages were amazing. And to my audience, to our audience, remember, as Radavie said, remember you come from love to be love and love one another. Until next time, thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much for having me here with you and your audience.
Thank you, Radavie.
Hi, it's Maritza here. If you like this episode of My Accent is No Accident podcast and would like to listen more like this, subscribe wherever you're listening to it or watching it. Leave us a nice review and share with your friends, family, and network. Thanks for listening.